Do you fear separation and abandonment? Well, you're not alone, because so many of us face this. And in my video here, I'm going to share with you a story of my trauma as a child and the shocking stat behind it that told me how unalone I was in this. And by the end of the video, I'm going to tell you how I overcame my fear of abandonment or separation, however you want to describe it. So the first thing that you want to do is face it. Don't fight it. Recognize that it's there. Recognize that this fear of abandonment or separation is something that is triggering you to withdraw, to separate yourself from the association of friends, family, work, loved ones, events, anything, that it's keeping you from feeling you cannot enter into society. That is your fear lighting up when you want to withdraw. So recognize it, face it, know that it's there. Look into yourself and determine, what is it within me that is causing me to want to withdraw? Why do I feel like I am not worthy or not good enough or not capable enough to enter into this space and society where I can be accepted and join with those that I love or that I want to work with, or how I want to move? What are those things that are being triggered, and why do you have that fear in you? You may not know yet why, but you got to recognize that it's there and how it's hitting your body, what it's telling you about yourself, and how it's telling you to act. If you don't recognize that your fear is telling you to hide out, not leave your room, not leave your house, not go and do that social event because you feel like you don't belong, there's no way to get beyond it. So take that step one and don't fight it. Sadly, 2/3 of Americans have childhood trauma. And one of the big symptoms of childhood trauma is fear of abandonment, particularly if, as a child, when you're facing that trauma, you felt like you had to go through it on your own. So that's the nature of trauma for children. And they did a behavioral science study back in the 90s, one of the largest ever done. It's been redone over and over again across all demographics and socioeconomic groupings, and it always comes out the same. 2/3 of Americans have some childhood trauma that they are facing in their lives that's impacting not only their emotional and mental well-being, but their physical well-being as well. If you look on cdc.org, they actually have statistics of the medical issues that come about from trauma cases that actually impact, from broken bones to breathing, all kinds, blood pressure, heart attacks, obesity. All these things are a result of people that are in trauma. Fear of abandonment and separation is one of those. And so you're not alone. You're part of 2/3 of Americans that can face this in some way because of what's been there. So understanding that allows you to then say to yourself, oh, this need that I feel to separate and hide isn't something that actually makes me weird. It's actually something that makes me very common. I have a lot of people that are going to be feeling this way, and you can approach it and accept that this is not something that is a reality that you have to embrace. It's simply a childhood trauma that is telling you, hey, don't do this because you'll be rejected. You got to do this on your own. You can't allow anyone to see you weak and scared. It's a real thing. The next thing that you have to do is understand your value and your worth. When you move into this place of being abandoned, feeling like you need to separate and hide, it is because your own sense of value and worth is being questioned by you. You yourself are questioning that. You yourself are wondering, am I worthy to enter into this space and be seen, or I have no value, so I don't dare take more rejection? I don't dare face this because I can't handle the rejection that no one else, wants to be with me. Understand that you have value and you have worth, and you have to provide that for yourself. Practice doing mantras in the mirror of kindness. Practice acting with compassion and forgiving yourself for these things that you don't feel like you're good enough at. Practice identifying your power and your greatness and owning it. This will build within you a foundation of value that will sustain you in those moments where you begin to feel like you need to abandon, separate, hide from those that you love or need to interact with. Buddha says that no one, not a parent, a mother or father, can be as kind or good to you as you can yourself. No one, not a parent or a loved one, can be as mean and harsh to you as you can yourself. So the practice of love for yourself and the practice of gratitude becomes essential. You cannot keep relying outwardly for that affirmation. That is not the source of getting over this feeling of separation and abandonment. The source of it is to turn inward and say, you are good, you are worth loving, you are a person of substance and value. And you have to convince yourself that that is true before any of the gratitude and the compliments that you receive from others will stay within you. Otherwise, you are like Teflon. It just bounces off. You won't hold it because inside you're saying, if you only knew me, you wouldn't say that I'm worth loving, that I am worth thanking. You must provide that for yourself. So practice love for yourself. Then identify the thing that is holding you back. What is that space that is triggering you to say, I feel abandoned. I feel I cannot enter back into this space. What are the events? For me, this is it, right? I'm doing these videos. I'm talking about personal stuff, how I've overcome trauma in my childhood. I am talking about the ways that I have failed in a very public way. And man, it fucking scares me to do it when it's sent out to public. It does. I know this will trigger me. I know this will make me reflect on my limitations and my failures that will tell me through a narrative of a lifetime of having this as a child that thought I was abandoned and alone because that's the nature of abuse. It leaves you feeling isolated, to a new narrative that I'm building. And sometimes things can derail me from those new neural pathways that I'm developing. And I recognize that that happens. And so I have in place my methods to get through it. I have in place a practice of self-compassion that I will do tonight. I'll do some meditation. I'll spend some time alone, talking to myself kindly for what I said and what I did and how I screwed up on the videos and how it may not be correct and what I worry about. All the stuff that goes on in my mind, I will reflect on. And then if I am capable, well, actually I will be. Tomorrow, I will go out and I'll connect with friends and I will tell them, man, I'm feeling raw today. And they'll be good to me. And that's the beauty of this, is when you set that stuff up, you can pull yourself out quickly. You don't spiral into this space where you're abandoned and held back because you identify what is coming. You know those things that trigger this. Figure out what they are. Identify them. Create a plan. And then shift your mindset. Shift your mindset to one that says, this moment that I feel this is the moment that I have to change how my mind moves. I am repairing the damaged thoughts that I had from all of the years of my youth and thinking that I was alone, that I was not supported, that I had to do this by myself. This is a common narrative in American society, in Western culture, right? This idea of the lone gunslinger walking through the West, conquering all that he sees, being loved but untouched by all of it around him because he will just move on into the West and find his place in the setting sun. It's a beautiful, picturesque narrative, and it is so lonely. None of us wants to be in that space if we're truly healthy. We want to be surrounded by those that see us and love us. But first, we must do that for ourselves so that we don't slip into that walking off by ourselves into the sunset. This is how you can overcome your fear of abandonment. It's how I overcame mine with also years of therapy. So if you're through that, working on it, and you have this stuff, or if it's just a small thing for you, think about these steps. Run through the process, and you'll be back on your feet, out doing the things you need to do in society in no time at all. Thanks for joining me. I'm James Burnham.